So this video is going to be about how to quickly update the firmware on your Sony A7 III and A7R III mirrorless cameras. So first thing first is actually download the firmware from Sony website. Okay, so I'm going to go and download. I'm going to accept the user agreement, and then you can hit the download, and the download would start. So as you can see, the download is starting. It's a fairly big file, and this applies for both the A7 III and A7R III. The procedure is going to be the same. So once you downloaded the firmware, click on it, and it asks you to connect the camera. So connect your camera with a USB cable. And in my case, I'm using a USB-C cable because it's much faster transfer rate, and it works pretty good for me before. So I'm just going to plug this into the camera. You can hear a sound. It's trying to connect. So once it's plugged, I hit next. Okay, so I think I also have to make sure that the camera is in mass storage mode. So let's see. So I'm going to go into setup. Oh, it's automatically entered mass storage mode for some reason when you turn on the camera. And now it's saying that it's connecting, and wait. So now it's connecting properly. So if you have a problem, just try to disconnect the camera and reconnect, and make sure your camera is in mass storage mode. So it's checking the version. So the version is correct. I'm going to hit next. You can see the version difference right over here. And it's resetting the camera. Hopefully my settings are all saved. Hopefully, but we'll see. Now it's running the update. It says do not pull the cable, so be really careful not to pull the cable during the update. We'll come back when the update is finished. Okay, so it takes a couple minutes for the camera to finish update, and when it's finished, it's gonna say, you know, update has been completed, and then you can hit finish and exit. So now it's safe to just unplug your camera, turn off your camera, and restart. And double check to see if the camera is functional, of course, which it is. We can go and check the firmware version, and to make sure it's correctly updated. So let's go ahead and do the A7R III and repeat the procedure so you guys have a better idea of what's update like. So I was quickly looking at the website. The difference, actually it's exactly the same, the updated features and benefits for the A7 III and A7R III. So basically they added support for a couple of the new lenses. They also added AF sensitivity tracking can be assigned to the custom key, which is really nice when you're shooting videos and you want to quickly customize tracking sensitivity. Also, when using the LA-EA3 lens adapter, all the focus area supported, so I guess it only applies to the lens adapter, which I don't ever use. Other improvements including the performance stability, improvements of the camera, better reproduction of the gradient of the raw files, but you have to have the imaging edge software to see the benefit right over there. If you use Adobe, it probably doesn't matter much. So when shooting with a flash in an environment with flickering lights, the stability of the exposure is improved. So I guess the flash, let's see how they worded it in the A7R III. So they said improved the dimming stability under flicker light conditions. So that's what they said for the A7R III. For the A7 III, they just said the flash ability is improved. Improvement of managing continuously shot images as a group. I guess I don't know what exactly that means because I haven't used that feature, but it is, all the improvements are quite similar between the A7 III and A7R III. So since I have both cameras, I'm just going to update both cameras. Now I have my A7R III right over here. Same thing, open the ports, expose the ports, and then I'm going to actually download the firmware for the A7R III. So make sure you download the correct firmware for your camera, okay? Of course, go through the things to confirm, and then I'm going to hit save to save the file to the desktop. And let's see. So once it's finished, I'm just going to go ahead and update my A7R III as well. So again, when it's downloading, I'm just going to come here and make sure that it's in mass storage mode, which I believe by default the camera is. Yep, by default it's in mass storage mode. So I'm going to turn it off, have the cable ready, and I'm going to run the update tool. Alright, so keep in mind this is A7R III, so it's extracting to a temporary folder, and it's going to start the update tool. So okay, exact same procedure as A7 III we did earlier. So I'm going to try to push the USB. Okay, so now it's plugged. I'm going to turn on the camera. Now it's going into mass storage mode. And let's see. So camera is on. So I'm going to hit next. Hopefully this time it'll detect the first round. Okay, good, found it. And of course checking the firmware difference 1.1 to 2.0, which is great. So now it's automatically resetting the camera again, and then it's going to do the update. My last update for the A7 III lasted, I think, 4 or 5 minutes. So I would assume this will be kind of similar. So again, I'm going to come back and update when the actual update is finished. So we'll conclude this video. So you guys can go to the shooting tab number 2, and there's custom operations. So that's where you set the function manual settings. Now they set the focus drive sensitivity is adjustable. So let me see. I'm going to change prioritize recording media and change it to a focus drive. AF sensitivity adjustment. Right here. So that's one improvement, and definitely it's going to help like in the video recording, because sometimes you want fast tracking, sometimes you want the tracking to go a little slower, and now you can adjust it on the fly during the video recording, which is great. So there you have it. This is how you update the firmwares on both A7R III and A7 III. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask me in the comment section. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching this video, and have a great day.